Hello all, welcome back. In the last session, we have created product listing page. Okay, I just ran the application, it's loading. So today we are going to learn the most important part of the application. That is creating the context and connecting with the reducer. And another strategy is like moving all wiring into a single file. Means we should create a context in a same file, and we should maintain the state in the main same file, and we should write the logic for the reducer also in the main file. And here today we are going to learn introducing two custom hooks also. Okay, not in detail, just we are just entering into the custom hooks as well. So this logic is really important because most of the applications in the real time they will use in this pattern only. So that please, without um, wasting time, please do practice, then only you will understand. Okay. Meanwhile, application is also loading. Yesterday we just added a product listing page. Let's see how it is working. Then we can jump into the most important part, that is creating a context. Okay, like the products loading properly, and now if you click on add to cart, you should able to add items to the cart. Okay, yesterday I just added this links completely to that div. Maybe that's the issue. Just let me move this link part um, is to that image itself. Okay, not to completely. Maybe it will be good. If it's not working, please do. I think you can fix these things easily. I'm just, instead of adding link to the complete logo, because right now we are using 80% of this width, right? It's not a good thing to add a link to there. I think this is fine. This is fine. Just save it. Now, right now we are able to see cart here, and just add some good styles for that. So hopefully it will be visible properly. Let me add. Okay, I'm just adding this link. Okay, once we add a link, it is not. Okay, let me add a color, simple color. This is enough, and we need at least some space between this text part and that one. Otherwise, we can do one thing. Here, this band just add some style, mm, margin or padding. Like margin, just add a margin for everything. Like so I'm just adding margin left, like 20 pixels. Let's see. What is this like? Okay, fine. This cart and zero. So wherever you click on that, it is navigating to the cart page, and if you click on this logo, it's coming back to the home page. That's it. This is our simplest thing. In between, like in future, we are going to finish each and everything, even log in, log out. We are going to connect with the server, database, everything. But this is just for a simple project to understand the cart logic clearly. Okay, fine. So now, whenever you click on add to cart, we need to add item to the cart. So, and once you go to the cart page, we should able to display all the item which we have added to the cart. So this is the target for today. So for that, we need to create a context. So first, what I'm doing in the same components page, I'm creating a simple context text.js file. Right now we don't have too many things, so that's I'm just giving a simple name that context.js. So here just import um, from React, that is create context, and if anything required we can do that. So here just constant. Here we needed two contexts. One is for the cart state, another one is the dispatch, right? Already we have understand. Okay. Otherwise, just follow this thing and I will explain one more time for you. The constant, here what I'm doing, cart context, cart state context, it's good. Cart st state context equal to react dot create context. Okay, initially we can just give a null, that is good. And another context also required for us, that is cart dispatch context. Dispatch context. Okay, both are required. Even you can give a capital letter, that is fine. It's not a big deal. Here that is also react dot create context. And now initially I'm just putting the null. Okay, good. So we have created a context. Okay, and we need to have a state, and we need to maintain deal with a reducer. So I'm just creating a state like initial state, because who already learned context and the reducer and use context, then only will understand. Okay, that's why already we have learned all these things. This is like the project we are doing. So initial state, this object, observe carefully, I'm just putting the cart, that is array, because we are going to push array of items, the product details, into this cart. So initial state is completely empty, nothing is there. So now we should deal with the reducer. So reducer is just a function. Okay, function reducer, or you can give a cart reducer, whatever the name you want, you can give it. Right now we have only one reducer, that's why I'm just giving a simple a name, that is reducer. Okay, and what reducer will expect, okay, reducer will take state and action as input. Okay, state and action. So here, because we will dispatch an action, right, from suppose add item to the cart, if you click on that button, we need to dispatch an action. So I hope you are aware of these things already. So let me write the switch logic. Switch. So here, what it will do, it will check the action time. So whether you want to add an item to the cart, or whether you want to remove an item from the cart. So I want to add an item to the cart. So here, what is the structure of that object? Like we are going to, okay, let me, already we have a product, right? Just go to the product. So what we are going to do? So here on the button, we are going to add like on click event and dispatch the action. So at the time we are going to pass product ID and product title, product price, product image, and product rating. So these five details we are going to pass it in a object form. So just keep everything in mind so that it is easy for you to understand this logic. So action type. So here we are going to do the two types of actions, that is add item to cart, or delete item from cart, or remove from item from the cart. So here the case, that is add underscore item, add to, okay, otherwise good, add to cart. Cart is the our the type. So here, observe carefully, we need to return a new state, okay, based on the previous state. So again, just add a default case because always it will try to throw an error. So default. So by default, we should return the same state. So you're writing return state. That's it. So suppose if you don't have a, if you don't dispatch any action or if you don't mention any type, but you dispatch an action, at the time it will simply return the state. Okay. So here it's very very important. So here two things are important. So one is you should not mutate the original state, and here this is a object. Observe carefully. This is an object. Inside that we have one property that is called cart, and again the value is array. So here how to read the information. So in the action we'll get the payload or value, whatever you can call it. Okay, we can call it as a payload. So here what I'm doing, so I will explain the same logic again because right now we didn't mm, complete the logic to dispatch the action or all those things. So once we have done, I will explain all the things in the reverse order. You will understand easily if you have any confusion now. So if you already done a practice, then it's not a big deal for you. So I'm doing, first you should spread the state. So that means first you should take the state because this is the new object. Okay, we are taking the, this is the state, and first we should read the state and spread it, and in that state we are going to do a changes for the card. So this is an array. Okay, this is an array. So we should expand. Okay, what we need to do, we should again take the state dot card. Okay, whatever the information is there in the card, first we should read it, and then okay, we are going to add a new item to the card because the card is empty, it's an array. Right now I want to add another object. Okay, that is a payload. Action dot payload, make sure this payload should be an object. So here we are going to add items like this object. In this object it will be id of the product and the title, like that we will get the details. So whenever you click on add to item, add to cart, so it is going to bring one object for us, and this is like how you are going to maintain the previous state of the cart, and you need to add a new item to the cart. So maybe slightly if you didn't practice you will get some confusion definitely, but don't worry, we will I will explain in detail within 15 to 20 minutes. Once we implement the dispatch, you will understand the flow. Varun, are you able to understand this one, what we are writing?
Yeah, Raghu.
Yeah, because we have two contexts, and at the same time we need a reducer. So and Varun, previously what we have done, so you can export all the things, export constant, because if you need these things in any other file. Okay, I think state you don't need to export. Reducer also, reducer if you want you can okay, make it export, don't worry right now. But one important thing is previously when we are learning all these things, what we have done, okay, we have created reducer logic in app.js file, right? Arun, do you remember? So but that is completely a wrong approach. That means the logic is not wrong, but it's better to separate everything related to the context on the reducer in a separate file. So that is there here. So if you want more details, just please go and read this documentation. Okay, here combining reducer with the context, then create the context, put state and dispatch into the context, use context anywhere in the tree. That's what we have learned with the context and reducer. Okay, after that, once you learn these three things, we need to understand that moving all wiring into a single file. So I will show you. the previous logic also what how we have implemented. Now this is much more cleaner way. So for that, what I'm doing here, observe carefully. I'm just creating a component here. I'm just creating a component here. The function, okay, that is cart provider. Okay, cart provider. This is the function. This is simply a component. This is simply a component. Cart provider. Observe carefully. So here, so Varun, the spelling is correct. Children, children dropped. Spelling.
Yeah,
I'll copy from here. So this is somewhat complex to understand first time, but once we finish, it's easy. So if you see the card provider, what I'm doing, what I'm doing here, return, return. I'm just returning the JSX. JSX. First, we need two things like card state context dot provider, right? Oh, this is very important for us. At the same time, cart dispatch context is also required for us. Okay, so carefully, we are going to write the maintain the state in this component. Okay, this is the root component for us. So I will just draw here the diagram so that you will understand. So here what we are doing, this is the app component. Inside that we have a header. So just understand in the app component. So in the home page, what will be there? Just a minute. So we have a header, right? These are the siblings. Product listing page, and another one is a footer we have. So whenever you click on the cart page, at the time it will replace this product listing with the cart component. Otherwise, this is a simple structure. Inside that, inside this product listing page, we are using the products as a children. So if we have 20 products, so we have 20 components here. So this is the header and this is the footer. I will just mention here. So far this is the app component. We have just applied routing part in the app component, and this is the header and this is the footer. And right now this is a product listing page, and inside of these things are products. These small boxes are products. So here we need a context, right? So product listing page, we need to display whenever you click on add item to the cart, we should store that information in the context. So for that, here we are maintaining the two contexts. One is state context, another one is dispatch context, because we need to have an access to update the state. So here this is the cart information, this is the cart state context, right? Of course this one, again this cart dispatch context. Okay, we have two contexts, and we need to maintain the reducer logic, and we need to wrap these things. Observe carefully, we should wrap this, we should connect this total context to the app component, right? App component. So previously what we have done while learning, so we used to import the cart state um, context and cart dispatch context into app.js file, and we just wrapped here, right? Do you remember, Varun, or can I open that logic as well? Let me open that logic so that you will understand. So this is the previous project what we have done. So I'm just opening this app.js file so that open with VS Code. So observe carefully. Observe carefully. what we have done, this context provider, and I think I have modified the code for learning for testing purpose. Okay, Varun, do you have the code, that one, for what we have implemented? Anyway,
No,
but
no.
you will understand easily. So simply, instead of wrapping the providers to app component directly, what we are doing in the context.js file, we are creating another component. Observe carefully, another component. This is a component. This component name is cart provider. Okay, this component name is the cart provider. So now we are going to deal. This is the root component for us. This is the root component for us, and we are wrapping the context. Observe carefully. No problem if you get a confusion. I will explain 2 or 3 times so that you will understand. So instead of attaching all the context to the app component directly, what we are doing, we are connecting to the card to provide component. This is the another component on top of app right now. Okay, and what we are doing, we are passing the whole thing as a children to the card provider. But what we are doing,
Yeah, we are taking card provider as a parent.
what we are doing here, we are creating a card provider component, and we are going to pass all the DOM structure, whatever the application we have implemented, we are going to pass it as a child. So then the DOM structure will be like this. And what we are doing, already we are attaching the card state context to the card provider and card dispatch context to the card provider. And at the same time, we are maintaining the reducer also, everything. So if you want, okay, I'm just adding this is a reducer logic, okay, and whatever the stuff you want to maintain, like dispatch actions, whatever it is, just put everything into one file. This is a one context, this is another context, this is the initial state. Just imagine, this is the initial state, this is the reducer, and everything is there in one place. And just create a card provider component. So that's why here, observe carefully, in the context.js file, what we are doing, we are we are just going to deal with a children prompt. So what we are going to do, so we are going to pass the app component as a children to this card provider. So now after implementing that, this card provider is going to be the root component for our application. So that once you attach context to this card provider, you can access, you can read context from this context, and you can update the details to the card provider easily. So I hope you got at least 30% clarity. Once we implement, you will get 100% clarity. So Varun, do you have any questions so far?
No, no, no.
Okay, fine. For watching this video, you need patience because this is a complex logic, definitely. But once you do practice along with me, and then just try to understand in a reverse order, so it's going to be very easy. Okay, so card provider. So what we are doing, so initially, previously we just maintain the state, actually the reducer logic, use reducer logic in the app component. So now we are not doing in app component because we need to make it clean. Because if you add routing part and everything in the app component, and context also, providers also in the app component, it's going to be completely messy. So in the app component right now, we just implemented only routing part. Okay, just implemented routing part, and product listing is clear that we are going to display the products, and header is clear and footer is clear. So all the functions or methods, the contexts which are related to the state card state, we are just moving everything into the card provider, and we are going to pass the whole component tree as a child to this card provider. So that we are going to do now. So for that, before that, What we need to do? We need to maintain the we need to deal with the reducer, right? Because we should attach the context. So this is the context, this is the context, and this is a state, this is the reducer, and we need to attach this context with the reducer. So then only we can update the card. So for that, hopefully you remember. So use reducer. So here we are going to maintain the original state of our application. So use reducer, just tell me Varun, what are the parameters we need to pass to the use reducer?
One is insert state and other is a reducer function.
Good. So first one is reducer function, right? Another one
Yeah,
is initial
insert
state.
state.
So now we are connecting. We are connecting. This is the state. Okay. Here we are maintaining the whole application state, and this use reducer is taking a reducer as a first argument and initial state. So we have connected these two things to the card provider, and after 2 3 minutes we are going to connect this card state context and card dispatch context also. Then everything will be clear. So here, what are the two things available? It is going to return.
State and dispatch.
Very good. State and dispatch. Okay, dispatch. That's fine. So here, just tell me from card state context. Okay, here I'm going to spread the children. Okay, simply, suppose if you give a app component, okay, I'm going to put as a children. So if I think if you forgot about this children prop, because the children prop is another default property of each and every component, right? So in product we have ID, title, price, image, and rating. So by default we have a children as a prop. So okay, if you forgot, I will revise with another example. So it's not a big deal. So children, this is a children. Okay, state is there. So now tell me. So for each and every context provider, we need to pass the value, right, Varun? So now tell me what is the value I need to mention here for the chord state context and chord dispatch context.
I think one should be state and one should be dispatch.
Good. State and this one is
Dispatch.
dispatch. That means, so if you see that this with the help of use reducer, we are dealing with the reducer and initial state. We got the latest state here, and we have a dispatch a method to do the state changes. So and we have connected state and this dispatch with card state context and card dispatch context. So right now, you see, this is the state context and this is the dispatch context, right? Dispatch context. Of course, if you didn't learn use context, if you didn't understand what is the context API, if you didn't understand use reducer, if you didn't practice, of course, it's really tough to understand what we are discussing today. Don't worry if you didn't understand, go back and do practice and come and just do project. That's why the React is not that much easy if you didn't practice. Okay, fine. So that's hopefully our context.js file is absolutely ready. So now what we need to do? So just export this one also because we need to export function the card provider. So now, okay, hopefully React dot create context. Okay, thing. So actually, this create context is a part of React. Like, what is that? Namespace. Okay. So just add it. Okay. I did some small mistake in the syntax. So don't do that. So fine. our context is ready. Our context is ready. Okay, our context is ready. And okay, so for what is there? So this is our component tree. This is our component tree, and we have attached everything about the context to the cart provider. Cart provider. In that cart provider, we have a useReducer. We are maintaining the state here, and we have a dispatch method, and we if you pass anything to the card provider as a children, so it is going to provide all the powers of the context to those components. So here, how to attach this one? Okay, how to make the whole application as a child to the card provider? It's very simple. It's very simple. Observe carefully. This is very, very simple. Now what I'm doing, observe carefully, observe carefully. In the app.js file, we have implemented a routing part, right? We have implemented a routing part, right? So you should remember that on top of app component, we have index.js, right? Do you remember? This is the main file in our application. So we have imported app component. We have imported app component, the old application component tree into the index.js, and it will take care to update the whole DOM into the original HTML file which is there in public folder. So you see index.html. So here we have a root. Here we have a root, and this is our only one single page, right? So and this index.js is going to connect with that index.html file. So here what I'm doing, observe carefully, I'm just import from just a minute. So in the components we have a context, right? We have a context. So what I'm doing, I'm just importing cart provider. Observe carefully what I'm importing. Cart provider is a component that is there here. This is the component. This is the simple component. This is the functional component. This is a very, very, very simple component. So, but here we have ready with all the providers. Okay, if you use this card provider, automatically you will get all the powers to utilize the context, and you can dispatch the actions also. So now what I'm doing, observe carefully, in index.js I'm just wrapping this card provider, and now I'm just moving this app component as a children. Observe carefully. Do you remember what is a children prop now? So suppose if you want to pass any props, you can do like so. This is the component, and name is equal to some text, hello, and the age is equal to 30. Suppose if it is a one any component. So these are the direct properties. And suppose if you add anything in between these things, so it is a chain. It is a chain. So if you want to display that one, we are going to deal with a children prop. Varun, do you remember this one? What is children prop?
Yeah, right.
No? Okay, just please go back. I'm not sure in which video we have explained. Just first practice that one. Otherwise, I will create a simple example. I will show it to you after this session.
I remember also.
You remember? Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear properly. So if you remember, that's fantastic. So now what happened? Now if you see, now this app is a child of card provider. Card provider is a component. App is another component. Now app is a child of the card provider. So observe carefully what happened with that simple logic. We have, so if you put app as a child, automatically those grandchildren also will connect, right? So this is the structure now. This is the structure now. This is very, very important. Okay, in real-time applications, this is the logic what we are going to use. Okay, so now everything is ready. Everything is ready. So only thing is, yes, you want to dispatch an action. If you want to read the context, whatever you want, you can do it. Okay. So now what we need to do? First, let's add items to the cart. Let's add item to the cart. And in the header.js file, just wait for a minute. Where is our header.js? Header.jsx. Here, this is the cart items count, right? This is the cart items count. Right now, we just hard coded that value. Varun, are you following or do you need some break?
No, Raghu, it
Okay,
can continue.
okay, good. So here we have hard coded the value. That's why you are displaying the 0. But from where we need to get this value? We need to get this value from the context, right? From the context. So how to read that? So who is going to, who is dealing with the state? That is the cart state context is dealing with the state, and the cart dispatch context is dealing with the dispatch. So here what we need to use, Varun, we need to import. So go to the cart context page. So here we need cart state context. Okay, and observe carefully, just try to recollect everything. Okay, of course this is the cart items count, right? So here use context. So we need to use the hook, use context. Do you remember? Because if you provide context name as a parameter, it is going to return what is there in that context. Because this cart state context is maintaining the state of the application. Observe carefully. Where is that? Where is that? Here. So cart state context that provider and value. What it is providing? The state of our cart application. So you can read it from here. So it is going to return. It is going to return the whole state. It is going to return the complete state. So here, how to get the count actually? How to get the count? So use context. So once you got this information, it's better to deal with this. Okay, we can do one thing. Otherwise, this is an object. Here, you will get the cart and dot length. If you have a confusion, so we can split into two lines. Okay, constant state is equal to use context of cart state context. Okay, first bring that state, and then state is an object and cart is a property of the state, and cart is an array, and we need a length. So if you have a 0 items, so it is going to display the 0. So let's see, because we have hard coded right now. If it gives 0 absolutely, it is working fine. So if it is 0, so for testing purpose, in the context, I'm going to add one item. So whether it is going to provide a count as one or not, observe carefully. I'm just adding an item. So ID colon suppose triple one, and title just wait. Okay, no problem, because right now it will just check the length of the array, length of the array. So right now we have only one item, so that the count should be one. The cart count should be one. Okay, you see, it is coming, it's coming, it's working fine, fantastic. So even if you add two items, even duplicate or whatever, it doesn't matter. So it will just check the length. That's it. Save it. So if you see, you are able to get the two items. But initially, because we need to add item to the cart through the product listing page. Okay, so I'm just removing it. Varun, understood?
Yeah, Raghu.
So who are watching this video, understood or not? Okay, don't lend blindly. Just okay. If you have some confusion, just watch till the end. Do one round of practice and just try to revise what we have done. You will get a clear picture. Still, you didn't understand, just let me know. I will explain once again. But without doing practice, don't expect that, Raghu, I didn't understand. It's not possible to explain in that situation. Do practice. Still, if you have a confusion, definitely I will explain. So fine. So now one thing is done, so that we are able to read the things from the cart. So now go to the home page. What we need to do, if we click on add to cart, we need to dispatch an action, and we need to provide the payload, and that information should store in the cart. And we this should be reflect. Suppose if I add two items to the cart, the cart count should be 2. Let's do one, that part also. So where is that? Where is that? Just go to the product.jsx, product.jsx. Here, if you want to dispatch an action, if you want to dispatch an action, you need to bring powers to the product page, right? So import. So right now, Varun, which context we are going to use?
Card context.
Cart
Dispatch.
dispatch context. Very good. And here, first you should get that powers to your component. So here I'm just putting like constant the dispatch equal to, okay, if I think spelling is also correct. So use context, right? Use context, and you need to pass this cart dispatch context as a parameter. Then what will happen? What will happen? It will provide the reference to the dispatch. It is provide the reference to dispatch. What is dispatch? From where it is coming? So this dispatch is there here. So this method is going to provide you an opportunity to update the state. If you dispatch an action that add item to the cart, it is going to interact with the original state. It will update the original state, and it will return the new state. It will return the new state. So this is very important. This is very, very important. So now go to the product.jsx, and on button click, what we need to do, on button click, style. So here just add on click event, on click. So here what we need to do, we need to dispatch an action. So whenever you're dispatching, just use the arrow mark, arrow function, the dispatch. Here we need to dispatch an action that should have two things. So observe carefully, come back to the context page. Here this action have a type and payload. Both are important. In this payload, we need to pass the product information as an object, and the type should be add to the cart. So this, it should match with the spelling is very important here. The product, so here the type is a property. So what we are doing here, just add to the cart. What do you need to add to the cart? The payload. So I'm just, this is another property. What is a payload? What is a payload? So we need to pass the product information. We need to pass the product information. So here, just let me bring it to the next line. So here, I'm going to pass the ID, because we are getting those details from the properties, right? Again, the title. So I'm giving the same name as a key, and value I'm passing from the props. They don't get confusion. So this is the key. This is the key, and this is the value. The value is coming from the prop, or you can give another names also. Suppose in React, so if you have a same name for a key and value, we don't need to mention the colon as well. But once we have done practice, we can check that later. So right now I'm just adding every information. So the price is there. And we need to add image also. So I'm just passing all the properties to rating, that is a rating. Okay, here observe carefully rating. What we need to pass rating while displaying the rating information. Okay, fine. So that was already managed in the product listing page, right? The rating, what we are doing, product dot rating dot rate. So that's why we are getting the only value. That's why we don't need to worry. So everything is ready. Everything is ready. Now, Varun, just tell me whether it is going to work or not. Work or not.
Yeah, I think it will work, Prabhu.
It will work. So hopefully, I hope I didn't any mistake. Let's see. I'm not sure. Add to cart. Boom. It's working. It's working. It's working. It's working. See, add to the cart. It's working. So now, what do you need to do? Just click on that like button. Why? Because this is the most important information every JavaScript developer who wants to get a job, like React JS is the most popular and important library on top of JavaScript. Just learn all these things properly with patience, with good practice, then getting a job is not a big deal. The learning is a big thing, but after you are good at JavaScript and React, getting a job is easy, I'm saying. So fine, so we are able to add items to the cart, add items to the cart. Just I'm just adding uh, three items. Fantastic, it's working properly. So now what is the pending part? What is the pending part? If I click on this cart, we are going to the cart page and we should display the items which are there in the cart, which are there in the cart. Okay, Varun, shall we finish this one also today, or we can postpone it to tomorrow?
Yeah, if you have time, you can finish, Prabhu.
Okay, 6:22. Okay, let me try within 8 minutes. So it's very simple. It's very simple. Just go to the cart.jsx file. This is right. So what we need to do? We need the information is there in the cart. So who is providing that cart? Who is providing that information to the for us? For us. So here it is coming. The state, old state is coming with the cart state context. So just import that into the right now we are into cart.jsx file. Just import from the context. And what we need to import, that is we need a cart state context, because we need to read what are the items are there in the cart. That is an array. So same thing, and again we need a hook, right? The constant okay, just it's better to take the state first and use context. With the help of use context to hook, we can read it. So just pass this cart state context to that. So here we need array, right? State dot cart. So observe carefully. Again, it's very simple. It's very simple. So state dot cart dot, what we need to do? This is an array, so that we should map it. We should map it. Again, we should take help from product. So what we have done in the product listing page, how we have displayed in the product listing page. So this is the one, right? Product, we are passing the key and we are passing the title, we are passing the price, we are passing the image, we are passing the rating. The same thing. So, but only one difference is here product.rating.rate, but from the state we are getting this this rating directly, so that we need to adjust that one. So just copying this one. Okay. So again, we are doing the same thing, right? So we are displaying information from the product. So for product is not there, so just please import it one. Import product from, sorry, where is that product? It's fine. So here only one difference is, so we will get um, the rating directly, because while observe carefully, while dispatching, we are passing only rating. We are passing only rating. So not rating dot something. This is just a simple value. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. So that's enough. That's enough. Hopefully it will work. It's not working. Okay, maybe it has re-rendered. So just go to the product listing page, add item to the cart, add item to the cart, two items. Varun, just tell me whether it is going to work or not. Cart page.
Yeah, Ravi.
Boom. So if you see, I just added two items. If you want to add one more item, just go back to the cart, go back to the cart, and just Varun, just tell me which one you need. This whether it's a solid gold or petty micro paint, whatever it is. Okay, I'm just giving a gift for you, Varun, because you are the very good student. That's why I'm giving a gift to you. Add to the cart. Yeah, just go back and click on that. So if you see, you got the details. You got the details. You got the details. Fantastic. Fantastic. Only thing is, now we need to add one more button for the products which you have added to the cart. And then if you click on that delete item to the cart, it is going to work. So that is assignment for you. That is assignment for you. So now I hope this is really I enjoyed really. I don't know what about the students who are watching this video. Simple thing, without practice you can't learn anything. And React is very easy if you do practice. If you don't do practice, JavaScript is very difficult and React is much more difficult than that. So we have finished the simple cart application. We are able to add item to the cart, and at the same time we are able to read the items which are there in the cart. And then once you understand this logic, adding the login page and sign up page and search and navigation bar, it's not a big deal. So just keep on learning and just try to improve this application and make it production ready. Okay, anyway, we are going to do a project, complete project, very soon, once we learn other concepts. Okay, in the beginning I said, hey, we are going to entering into the custom hooks, right? But due to lack of time, I didn't explain that. So that part because in the context, still we can add few more things with the help of what custom hooks, so that we can cover tomorrow. And my expectation is everyone should finish this one and just ping me in the comment section once you have done so completed, and just send me a screenshot, or at least send me an email, so that I will be happy that at least this information is useful for at least few students. Okay, thank you, Varun, and thank you all who are watching this video. And if you don't do practice, there is no use. Okay, thank you and bye bye.